external source of recruitment. The various external sources of recruitment, I've already told you the different sources, like we have advertisement, we have employment exchange, we have placement agencies, and we also have campus interviews, we have recommendations, we have casual callers, direct recruitment, and labor contractors. Now we'll do all of them one by one, the meaning of it and how they do it, and the advantages and the disadvantages. The first one is advertisement. I think most of you are familiar with what are advertisements. We normally give advertisements in the newspapers and the journals, and this is the most widely used method of recruiting staff in the organization. Now what happens is, whenever the organization wants to fill up any job vacancy in the organization, they give an advertisement in the newspaper. Okay, and in the advertisement, what they give the details of the job, they give the qualification required for that job. Okay, now you can you see an example I have given you for the advertisement? Yes. Now this is basically an advertisement given for the sales manager. Okay, they have mentioned that he should be experienced. They have also mentioned like what, you know, teaching, he should have teaching, marketing of teaching equipment. Also they have given you the required thing. They have also given you a thing that he will get an attractive salary. Okay, you required to send your photograph and you have to mail it to the email ID which they have given you. Now this is an ad which is given a normal ad. Now sometimes if you give ad in the newspaper, you need to give the post box number of the advertisement. That means the companies give themselves a post box number where you have to send your application. As you know, nowadays we have online going everything, so nowadays the companies wants you to mail your resume to their IDs. Okay, now when you give this ad in the newspaper, candidates will see this ad, they will apply to the this ad for the job which is required in the organization. Now what is the benefit of this is, this is the most convenient way of recruiting people, very convenient, and it is very economical, because newspaper goes to mostly all parts of the country, so large quantity, you know, we get sufficient choice of the people who are applying in for the job. We have people of different from different areas who are good in experience, who have proper experience, who have proper qualification, they apply for the job. Okay, so we get a large pool of candidate. I hope you remember in the beginning we told recruitment is a positive process. That means positive process means we are here inviting large pool of candidate to apply for the job, and then we choose the right person. Second thing is, we all in the ad, the candidate already knows what are the requisitions required, what is the details of the organization, and what kind of job is it. So he himself first screen himself that whether I am fit for this job or not, whether I am good for this job or not, and accordingly he will apply for the job. Okay, now we have certain disadvantages also. So what happens is, sometimes too many applications come, and out of those too many applications there may be many applicants who are not fit for the job, so they just apply like that only. So what happens is, out of the huge amount of applications which we get, what happens, we don't have the proper candidate which we want for the job. Okay, so sometimes unqualified candidates also apply for the job which we don't require, so that is one of the disadvantage. Now second point is, because some unqualified people have unqualified candidate have applied for the job, we have wasted our time, you know, in reading their resumes. We have involved the time in screening them, so it leads to what, it leads to wastage of time and money also in screening those people. So there are two disadvantages. One is we get a huge amount of applications for the job, and out of it sometimes some of them are unqualified, and second thing is we waste our time and energy in screening those candidates. Okay, so this was the first source of recruitment, that is advertisement. I hope you all are clear with this. Yes, this is very simple. Advertisements, I think you most are familiar with this. You must have seen advertisement column, employment column in many of the newspapers. In newspaper also, employment news, which is a special newspaper where only job advertisements are given for private and public companies.
We also get calls from the companies.
That will come. We will get that in the other source which we are going to do. Okay, so we have the advertisement. If they find it suitable, then they'll give you a call. Okay, next is employment exchange. Now you have to understand that employment exchange are set up by the government of India, basically to tackle the problem of unemployment. Now what they do is, the candidate has to register his name, his address, and other things of the job requirement of the job. He gives his experience, he gives his qualification, and everything is given to the employment exchange. Now when a company or an employer comes to the employment exchange, the employment exchange give the name of the candidates who have registered themselves with the employment exchange. Now what is the benefit of this? The main benefit is that the employment exchange themselves do the screening. They make a list of the candidates for the company. Okay. Second thing is, the employer, the company, they don't have to give an advertisement in the newspaper. They can directly approach the employment exchange, the government employment exchange, and ask them to give a list of the candidates. So basically what happens is, they are doing all this thing free of cost. You have to remember one thing, that the employment exchange set up by the government do not charge fees for the service which they are giving. So they are basically government employment exchange. Some employment exchange also give the counseling service also to the companies. So it is an additional benefit for the organization. So they are getting what? They are getting a list of candidates for the job. Plus they don't have to give advertisements in the newspaper. So they are saving on money. Plus sometimes they also get the counseling services from these employment exchange. But again, we have some disadvantages also of the employment exchange. Since it's a government setup, what happens is, the records of the candidates is outdated. They don't update the records. For example, if I am a candidate who has registered myself in employment exchange, and at that time when I registered, I was a graduate. But over a period of time, I have done my post graduation, and I have told the employment exchange that please upgrade my qualification, that I'm now postgraduate. Sometimes it happens, the employment exchange do not update your qualification. So what happens? Your records are outdated. Okay. Second thing is, sometimes the candidates do not turn up for the interview. When the employment exchange gives the candidate's name to the companies for the interview process, sometimes the candidates themselves don't come. Okay. So basically we have certain drawbacks of the employment exchange. So employment exchange is a good source of recruitment, basically for the semi-skilled staff. That means for the, you can say, the people who are do not require very high qualification. So basically employment exchange are suitable for semi-skilled staff. Are you clear? Children, are you clear? Any doubt in employment exchange?
No.
So you have to remember, employment exchange, first thing, set up by the government of India. Second, they don't charge fees for their services. Okay. The benefit is, companies don't have to spend too much on advertisements and the screening of the candidates. But the disadvantage is, their records are not updated, and it is suitable only for semi-skilled staff. Clear? Children, should I proceed to the next source? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now we go to the next one. The next is placement agencies. Okay. Now placement agencies, the first thing is, it's private. Okay. These are private agencies. A simple example, you must have heard this name, ABC Consultants, and we have many more. They basically provide recruitment and selection services. Now the company, the employer, will hire these agencies, and for their services they have to pay fees. They have to charge, these agencies charge fees for their services. So the company, if they charge a placement agency for the recruitment process, they need to pay the fees to these placement agencies. Okay. Then how it goes on, what is the process? When the company approaches this placement agency, they tell their requirement. So placement agencies advertise about the job through their sources. They receive too many applications for the job. These agencies only do the screening of the applications and the applicants, and then they select and they shortlist the candidate who are best for the job which the organization has given the money for. Okay, so basically placement agencies help basically in advertising, receiving, screening the applicants, and then shortlisting them. But yes, they will definitely do it for a substantial fees. So what is the benefit of placement agencies? The benefit is for the employer, for the company, that their time and effort is saved. Why? Because the whole process of recruitment is done by these placement agencies. The company themselves don't have to do the screening and shortlisting of the candidates. All that work is done by the placement agency. Second thing is, the companies are getting an expert service. Why? Because these placement agencies are specialized in doing that. These agencies are expert in screening and shortlisting the candidates. So the company, the employer, is getting a expertise services. They are getting expertise service from the placement agency. And what is the demerit? The demerit is basically you have to pay fees for the services which you are getting. And this placement agencies is basically, this source is basically good for when we want to recruit senior managers and senior technicians. Then we need to spend money on hiring a placement agency. All right, are you all clear with it? Yes. Any doubt? In
No,
last
ma'am.
year, okay, now you can also get a difference between employment exchange and the placement agency. Adrija, can you tell me the basic difference between an employment exchange and a placement agency?
Ma'am, if, uh, placement agency provides with people who want to work in the job, like
Well, that employment agencies also do, right? Employment exchange also providing you candidates who want to work in your organization. What is the basic difference between both of them?
placement agency give no.
Sana, what is the basic difference between placement agency and the employment exchange? Sana, can you hear me?
Can I answer?
Who's that?
Gio.
Yes, Jia.
Some employment exchanges can employ the people, but then the placement agencies can just shortlist them or just.
Okay, so that means they are giving a specialized service. Yes. Okay. Apart from that, anything else? Ashlesha, what is the
Yes,
basic
ma'am.
what is the basic difference between placement agency and employment agency, employment exchange?
Um, One second. Uh,
Are you all paying attention? Yes, children.
yes, ma'am.
So why are you not able to give the answer? Sana, where are you? Sana, is Sana not there? Kruti, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Kruti, what is the basic difference between employment exchange and the placement agency?
Ma'am, employment exchanges do not charge fees, and placement agencies charge fees for that.
Excellent answer. Excellent point. That is the major difference. Apart from that, can you give me another point? Because normally difference.
Employment exchanges are set up by the government, and placement agencies are mostly private organizations.
Excellent answer, Kruti. You get full 2 on 2. Excellent answer. I wanted this answer only. These are the 2 points which you need to write in your exam. First point, employment exchange by the government of India. Placement agencies are private agencies. Second point, employment exchange do not charge fees for their services, whereas placement agencies charges fees for their specialized services. I feel that you people are not paying attention, all of you.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, employment agencies, can they be for a long time and placement for a short time?
What? I didn't get you, Sana.
Ma'am, employment agencies for short time and placement for long time.
No.
No?
No. Both of them can have that same thing. Employment exchange are there forever. They're set up by government. So you register your name, and whenever a vacancy will be there by the company, they will.
Okay, ma'am.
Similarly, employment agencies also do the same thing. But yes, in employment agencies, once their work is done for the job vacant, you have given the money. Once it is over, it is done. If you give them a second time to fill up a vacancy, they'll charge you again for that. Okay. Are you clear, Sana? All right. Now we come to the next source of recruitment, that is campus interviews. I think you all are very much familiar with what are campus interviews. Yes.
Yes.
I think you must be aware that many times very good institutions, education institutions, have tie-up with the business houses where they approach the institute and they do the interview or the screening of the candidates who are already studying in the final year, and they recruit them. And the children who are technically very good in their work and they are very educated, they have very good talent, and they appoint them for their organization in their final year. So what is the benefit is the candidate already have a job when he moves out of the college. Okay, the very good example is your IITs and IIMs. What they do, they have a tie-up with very good business houses. These business houses come in the final year of the year of the candidate, and they have to give some kind of an entrance test. They have to go through the procedure of interview and everything. And if they are the candidate qualifies for the requirement of the job, they are given the job. And this kind of resource is good when they don't want job experience for the vacant job, but what they want is they want very talented students, very talented people for their job. So it is very good for managerial and technical jobs. Are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So campus interview, it is very famous. It is very convenient. It is not expensive. Again, the reason is the companies don't have to spend advertisement. Since the placement sales are already there in the education institutions, it is a big support to the organization. No advertisements required. What is the benefit is benefit to the students. The students are already getting a job. They already have a job before they leave the campus. All right. Now we come to the next source of recruitment, that is recommendations. Any idea what you mean by recommendation? Tanishka, yes?
Can I say?
Yes, Ishika.
It's when, like, let's say I'm working in a company called Yahoo, and over there one of a person knows me,
Okay.
and he recommends my name for that that job. So I'm not interviewing anything, but I'm directly recommended by the person to come and present everything.
You are saying basically you're already working there and your name has been recommended.
Yes, a person.
Okay, it is slightly a different way. I'll give you your example only in a different way. For simple example is you are working in an organization like you said, Yahoo. Okay, now there's a vacancy which has come up in your company, right? Now what will be this? You have a friend or you have a person outside the organization and you know that person is good, apt for that job. Okay, your friend is, for example, any of your friend has a proper qualification, she has proper experience for the job which is there in your organization, so you can recommend your friend or your relative name to your company that this person is good for the job. So that applicant is basically what? A recommendation given by you. Are you clear? Yes, Ishika?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So this is that way. Okay. This is basically if I'm already working in this organization, for example, if I'm already working in this school, okay, and there's a vacancy for some teacher. Okay, what happens is the company will tell me that if you have any known person, that can be your friend, that can be your relative, that can be anybody who's outside the organization, and that person has the desired qualification and the experience, I can recommend his name in my organization. Now, can anybody tell me what is the benefit of a recommendation? Why the company will take somebody on my recommendation in the organization? Yes.
Ma'am, because we are a employee of the same company, and we know better who will be apt for the position.
Okay, but and why the company? First thing is I know about the company, but why are they telling me to recommend somebody from outside?
It is cheaper.
Okay, that's good. Good. Yes. Apart from that, what else?
We have more experience.
Of what?
In that
We gain trust.
What?
Because we have a good reputation in the company.
Okay. So what about the candidate? Why will they take a candidate on I have a good experience, I have a good reputation. So if I'm recommending somebody, this means what? What for the candidate?
That the candidate, I have no idea.
That
Can I say?
yes, yes.
It's because the candidate is suitable for that particular job, so that's why he or she is getting recommended.
Absolutely correct. But I'm telling you, why are they asking me to recommend? What is the link between me and the candidate?
You know them personally?
Yes, I know them personally. So the answer is I know the background of that candidate. Like I'm like a surety. I'm giving a surety to the company that this person, this candidate is good for the job. Okay. Are you all aware that when we are interviewing or selecting somebody, okay, when we are interviewing or selecting somebody, what happens is the company goes for a reference check. Do you know what is reference check?
Yes, that the one who is getting employed has a good history.
Background check.
Yes, absolutely correct. So normally the companies go in for a background check. Okay, they go and talk to the ex-employer of that candidate, how that candidate was, and they do a background check before appointing him. What kind of person is. So in case of recommendation, what happens is when I am recommending a candidate for the job which is there in my organization, I am giving a reference check. Here I am giving them a recommendation, so they will trust me since I am a part of the organization. So I am giving a background check of that candidate, and my company will trust me. As you all said, I'm already working in the organization, I have a good reputation, and I am a good employee. Okay, are you all clear?
Yes.
Okay, so basically the advantage of recommendation is that I know the background of the other person, I am there as a surety for that person, and the preliminary screening not required of the done by me only. I know that he has got proper qualification, he's got proper experience, and is still fit for the job. So my organization will trust me. Okay.
Ma'am, what if the ex-employer says something bad about that person, like lies about that?
See, that is basically depends upon your contact or your professional and how you have been in the last thing. This can definitely happen. This can definitely happen. If that thing happens, that candidate might not be appointed. If somebody gives a negative feedback about you, so maybe the organization might not take you.
But what is that for lie?
If what?
What if the employer lies about it?
So you can't help it. So you need to maintain good relations with your organization, right? Okay, so normally first thing is when the company will take the interview and everything is there, if they feel that the candidate is good, they will take it. But yes, if the reference check is bad, you know what would, when we are filling in our application form, there's an option of giving a reference check, name of two people who know you. You will do in the selection process. Normally the tendency is we always give the name of two people who are good with us. So as a candidate, I will not give two references which who will give a negative about me. Are you all clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Now we go to the next one, that is casual callers. Now, casual callers are basically here many good reputed business draws. They basically have unsolicited applicants in their office. Unsolicited means applicants who are not invited. That means who we don't tell them to apply for the job. They on their own come and apply for the job. If you have ever noticed in where we have a security desk of our school, have you seen there is a letterbox kind of a thing outside our school?
Yes.
And on top of that it's written drop in your resume. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
So normally what the companies do, they put a box like this, and it is basically open for the applicants. Anybody without job who requirement, or anybody like any job who is there in the organization, they come and drop in their CV, they come and drop in their resumes in that box. So what happens is, these are known as unsolicited applicants. That means we have not given an ad for the job, we have not invited these people to apply for the job, but on their own come and drop in their resume. Okay, so when we get all these applicants' resume, we make a waiting list of this. We screen what is required, whether these people are good for our organization or not, and we make a waiting list. And whenever a vacancy will arise in future, we will call these people, we will call them and call for a interview. Clear, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt? You might get this as a 2-mark question. Okay, so basically here what happens is we have not given any, so our cost is saved. Okay, and we are not calling people to come for the interview and at the beginning only. So what is happening, they are not disturbing our normal day-to-day working. So casual callers is kind of a cost saving thing. We on our own get applications of many candidates, and whenever the vacancy will arise, we will call them and take the interview, and the selection process can happen. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now the next one is direct recruitment. Now direct recruitment basically happens in factories. Okay, now what they do is, for example, as you all know, we require labor in the factories on daily wages. So what they want is that in case sometimes what happens, if they require some labor, you can say they require 20 or 30 labor force manpower, what they do is they put a notice on their gate. They put the notice on the gate that we require so many people for working in an working in our factory for today or for 2 days or for 1 week. And the people and the laborers, what they do, they all normally stand outside the premises of the factory, and they stand there, and whenever this notice comes, they all come in and they get a job. So basically this method is known as recruitment at factory gate. Okay, and basically this is for your whom? This is for your semi-skilled or unskilled labor, like your welders, like your fitters, your plumbers, okay, like your people who are doing your labor work. All these people who are there, they are recruited through this source of recruitment. Are you clear?
Yes.
Okay, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
I hope you're clear with the direct recruitment part. It is basically for the factory. Yes?
Ma'am, the direct recruitment is only applicable for the factory gates only?
Yes. Basically for the factory people, basically for the skilled and unskilled labor, daily wages. So their selection is on the spot. The moment the factory people put a notice that their requirement is for so many workers or laborers in the organization, and they write the dates, all the job seekers, all the labor, they stand outside the organization. The moment they see this, they approach the in charge person, and on the spot the selection is done, and the vacancies are filled. And it is basically for the factory people, factory level.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, next and the last one is labor contractor. I think you must have heard about labor contractors. Any idea? No? Okay. Now what happens is the companies, they require, again here we come for the laborers, we come for the semi-skilled or unskilled people. Now companies, what they do is they have a requirement for a lot of laborers who have to work in the organization. So what they do, they have a contact with the contractor. They have a contract with a contractor who has a force of people with him, who has number of workers under his contract. So when the company has a contract with the labor contractor, he will bring all his labor to do a particular job. Simple example is in case of construction sites, you must have seen people who are at the construction of building, they have a full labor force and they are working under a contractor. And the company has a contract with the labor contractor who will provide the number of workers for a short period of time. For the short period, for example, if they have to build up this building, they all will work till this building is completed, and they normally get the daily wages. But what is the disadvantage of this labor contractor is, if for any XY reason the company has a dispute with the labor contractor, the company is not in good terms with the contractor, he might leave the work of the company. So if the labor contractor leaves, automatically the full force of labor will also leave along with the labor contractor, because he's with the laborers are with the contractor. Are you clear?
But then even the part of money would be given to the contractor, na? So
Obviously, yes. The full amount, the lump sum amount company gives to the labor contractor, and labor contractor will give the money to the laborers based on their daily wages.
Ma'am, but then even the labor will get like
not enough money as daily wages.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. The labor contractor already has a deal with the workers that for one day I will give you 200 rupees. He already has a deal with the workers. And he will have his own deal with the organization. He might take a lump sum of 1 lakh rupees from the company, that I will take 1 lakh rupees for bringing the n number of workers you want for that work.
Ma'am,
Yes.
When the contractor is not in any contract with any company, will the workers will be unemployed?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. They will be unemployed because the labor contractor himself does not have any work. So how will he put them to work? Okay. Basically, this
Ma'am,
not
in
happen.
between the
What?
Ma'am, in between the contract and the contractor reduce the